It's Hilton here, and I just wanted to jump on and say hello, please. If you're watching the live, please pop hashtag live below in the comments, and also please leave me a comment below so that I know that you're watching. If you're watching this on replay, please pop hashtag replay in the comments section below. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, one of the things that I see in my clinic time and time again is people eating too many refined carbohydrates. So, I wanted to jump on here and do a quick chat with you all about that today. And I want you all to understand what really happens when you eat too many refined carbohydrates and how it affects your metabolism. So, first up, let's talk about what happens to your energy levels. So, you might think that when you have a bit of a sugary snack, yeah, you get a bit of energy, and we get quite a quick flood of energy into our bodies. But the reality is, it is only temporary. And so what happens, and so these refined carbohydrates like the white bread, like the pasta, like the donuts, like the croissants, like all of those delicious things, the cakes, you know what I'm talking about. It causes our blood sugar levels to rise quite sharply. So we feel amazing. We feel great. We feel invincible. We feel all of those things. And what comes up must also come down. And so we then get a crash. So we go all the way back down, but we go further down, and then we start to feel more tired than what we did before we even started in the first place. So what this roller coaster effect does, it leaves us feeling more fatigued, more sluggish, more tired, more unproductive, more of that less energy. Excuse me one moment, please. Right, thank you. Hope you are still with me. Once again, if you're watching, say hi. I'd love to see that you're watching my video. So, the next thing that happens when we eat too many refined carbohydrates is weight gain. Yep, there we go. I've let the cat out of the bag. You see, when we eat quite a lot of refined carbohydrates, what happens is they're broken down into sugar and into a simple sugar called glucose. And when we have too much glucose, we store that as fat. But we also tend to store it in different places. So for some of us, we'll store it on our bellies. And this fat that accumulates around our bellies, which is around our vital organs, also increases our risk of other health problems such as type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. We're looking at non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and even contributes to cardiovascular issues. So one of the best tips I can give you, which I would give you right now, is if you want to maintain a really healthy weight and a stable weight and have stable energy levels, then we need to consider cutting back on all of those refined carbohydrates. The final thing I want to talk to you about today is what happens to our metabolism when we eat too many of those refined carbohydrates. The body's got to work real hard. It's got to work overtime to deal with all of this glucose. And like I said before, this can lead to insulin resistance, where the body becomes less efficient at processing glucose, which will eventually, at some point, if you continue the same pattern, you will eventually lead to type 2 diabetes 20 years down the track, 10 years down the track, whatever it is, that's where it's going to lead. And the interesting thing is that all this excess glucose that's kind of building up in your body also leads to inflammation, which makes your metabolism slower and makes it harder for you to lose the weight. Oh, hey, Carsten, great to see you. Thanks so much for watching. Um, so just to recap again, once again, like I said before, when we have too many refined carbohydrates, we tend to go on this blood sugar roller coaster where our energy levels go right up and then they come down and then they go down further. And then we start to see things like fatigue, sluggishness. Hey Matt, how you going? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. We get fatigue, we get sluggishness, we get poor energy just by eating those simple refined carbohydrates. And excuse me, our metabolism tends to struggle to deal with that glucose, so that can lead to inflammation. It can also lead to things like high blood pressure, particularly when we've got too much glucose flooding into the bloodstream. And the third thing that happens is that eating too many refined carbohydrates contributes to weight gain, particularly around the middle, which will then increase your risk of diseases such as type 2 diabetes, such as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and potentially metabolic syndrome. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you all really soon, and I hope you have a fantastic day. See ya.